Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this session. In this part, we would be discussing about the rural roads. So before we start the discussion, I would like to show all of you a slide of the presentation, which we would be referring throughout our discussion. So here we go. So as all of you would be able to now view the presentation, so rural roads form the most important component of India's road network. Of India's 1.7 million kilometer of road, 73% are rural roads. Rural roads building picked up speed under the NDA. The government has already spent more than rupees 80,000 crore on building and upgrading the rural roads across the country. And since 2014, nearly 2 lakh kilometers of new roads have been built across rural India. So further, the discussion would be revolving about the terms rural roads, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, the problems related to the construction of these rural roads, and the scope of development in terms of rural roads. So the rural roads in India are low volume roads comprising of both the village roads as well as the other district roads. The government of India is financing rural roads construction to improve rural connectivity through the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana with the target of connecting every rural habitation with a budget of rupees 600 billion or 60,000 crores. The program is a big success already with 2 lakh kilometers of road work already completed. The program, when completed, provides connectivity to approximately 1.6 lakh unconnected rural habitation. But the maintenance of this vast network of rural roads is a major challenge and requires significant annual maintenance budget. The local panchayat and the state governments may not be effectively able to manage the maintenance program due to the paucity of funds. Hence, the responsibility of maintenance of rural roads should be with central government, and the existing setup created to implement the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana should be effectively used for maintenance management of these rural roads networks. Now coming to the problems associated with the construction of these rural roads, it can be classified into few points. The few points being, the first one among them is diverse, including difficult nature of terrain. By this point, we are referring to the remote regions in the rural areas where it's very difficult to construct the road due to its uneven terrain. And by the second point, we are meaning large number of scattered villages or the low populational size of the individual villages. By the third point, we are referring to the dominant nature of agricultural activities and the lack of non-agricultural pursuits. And the fourth point, we are referring to the high percentage of the tribal communities or the tribal people who inhabit in scattered habitats inside forest and hilly areas usually. Now coming to the scope of the development in terms of rural roads. So as per the road statistics published by the central government for the year 2012 and 13, rural roads span 60.39 kilometer of every 100 kilometer. The sad part is that most of these rural roads in the country are in bad shape. That is, they are of poor quality, potholed and unable to withstand the load of heavy farm equipment, thereby affecting the rural population quality of life as well as the ability of the farmers to transport their produce to the market. Further, the rural surface road is just 33% of the total rural road network in India, and the remaining are kacha roads which are highly vulnerable and inaccessible, particularly during the rainy season. Thus, there is increasing needs for surface rural roads in the country. Now, coming to the end of this session, I would like to mention 6 areas of impact and the impact that these areas would have if the development in terms of rural roads takes place. So the first area of impact is associated with the social change. It would increase the national identity as well as improve the government and village relationship. And the second area of impact would be on women or household, as the provisions of road would be providing them with more employment opportunities or more choice of freedoms from the restraints of the traditional society. And with road construction, or the road constructed with the help of labor based method, it would be also providing increased employment opportunities to the people in rural areas. The third area of impact would be health and nutrition. It would enable the inhabitants of the rural areas to have much more access to the personals and the health facilities more easily. And the fourth area of impact is about education. Rural roads would enable more children to attend classes on a regular basis, and it would also lead to the retention of the teachers over there. And by the fifth point, that is about migration, it would be strengthening the local market towns as well as the administrative and economic centers. And the last area of impact would be the perceived quality of life. It would represent progress and provide visible benefits to the rural people immediately, and the rural communities would view the rural roads as a medium of transporting their produce, or they would use it more frequently for transportation purposes. So with this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you so much. Waiting for the next one.